Hey guys, Buzz here with VaporizerWizard.com, and today I will be reviewing the Grasshopper Vaporizer by Hopper Labs. Now the Grasshopper Vape is one of a select few on the market to offer pure convection heating, and the only vaporizer to offer it in such a discreet pen style. Now the innovative design allows the Grasshopper to heat up in around 5 seconds, which is one of the first features that I was immediately blown away by. Now the Grasshopper is simple to use and easy to maintain. You just click the tactile button like you would a pen, and wait for the blue lights, and you're ready to go. Now you get a full temp spectrum via a rotary dial, and one of the most powerful heaters of all portable vaporizers currently on the market. Now at the time of this video, you can order the stainless steel Grasshopper for $150 via the links below in the About section. They also offer a classic titanium and a colored titanium model for $200. Now the TI models are less prone to scratches and weigh around 10 grams lighter. Now remember that these are pre-order prices and current as of the time that I made this video. So to get all the information on the Grasshopper, like shipping estimates, price changes, and product updates, you can click the link below in the About section where it says full review, and that will take you to my website, and I'll make sure to keep everything up to date for you. And if you have any questions about the Grasshopper or any other vaporizer, feel free to hit me up on my contact page or in the comments section below. The Grasshopper's come a long way since the start of the Indiegogo campaign back in the winter of 2013. Units finally started shipping out in June of 2015, and at this point, all backers have currently received their units. Now, like many other crowdfunded projects, Hopper Labs definitely had some hiccups along the way, but they proved to be resilient and crossed each hurdle they came across. Now, in the end, my unit surpassed my expectations, and the Grasshopper is currently my daily driver. Now the only downfalls that I found would be the short vapor path creates some warmer vapor temps, and the mouthpiece gets hot with prolonged use, but I'll get more into that later on in this review. In this Grasshopper Vaporizer review, I'll go over the features, I'll show you how to use it, clean it, go over my pros and cons, and then suggest a couple different methods as far as charging, batteries, and accessories. Now I also have a couple methods for best use and tips that can help eliminate some of the downfalls to the short vapor path. So let's go ahead and jump into the full Grasshopper Vaporizer review. So here's the Grasshopper Vaporizer. This is one of the smallest and lightest vaporizers that I've used. Now it's a little taller than most, but it's so slender that it fits perfectly in pretty much any pocket. Now you can walk downtown and hang out in the bars with the hopper in hand or with the clip hanging out of your pocket, and no one would know the wiser. Now it is a little bit bigger than cheap conventional pens, but pretty similar to fancier pens like this one, so you could probably pass it off as an actual pen or graphics design stylus. So with the Grasshopper, you get this cool little box with the Grasshopper on it, of course. You get a magnetic USB charger, the user manual, the silicone mouthpiece guard, and the Grasshopper itself. The Grasshopper is about 5.6 inches tall and a little more than a ½ inch in diameter. The stainless steel model weighs roughly 67 grams, while the titanium model weighs roughly 55 grams. Now I'll get more into the benefits of the titanium model shortly. The Grasshopper is much lighter than other popular portable vaporizers. In comparison, the PAX 2 comes in at around 90 grams, the Crafty is about 136 grams, the Firefly is 240, Mighty is 230, and the Haze is around 190 grams. So this thing is pretty light. We're talking actual pen weight, especially if you get the titanium model. The finishes on all the models give a durable, industrial, I'm here for business type of look. The parts are machined extremely well, the weight is just the right feel, and it's all backed by a lifetime warranty. So let's jump in on how to use it and go over the temperature spectrum. Now first things first, we're going to load a battery into the top side of the Grasshopper. The positive side will go down and then replace the top. To turn on the Grasshopper, click the top just like you would a pen. Now the red LEDs show the Grasshopper is heating up, and the blue LEDs show the unit is preheated and ready to go. The Grasshopper is extremely easy to use and features a complete temp spectrum via a rotary dial and 5 hash marks, each representing a 20 degrees Celsius change in temperature. Now it's important to note that you can set the Grasshopper in between numbers to fine-tune your temps. The full temp spectrum runs from 130 degrees Celsius to 210 degrees Celsius or 266 degrees Fahrenheit to 410 degrees Fahrenheit. The dial is a smooth turning motion, and it's very easy to navigate without having to look at where the dial is. A full counterclockwise turn puts you at the lowest temp, and a full clockwise turn will put you at the max temp. Now it would have been nice to have a light clicking at each of the 5 hash marks to make it easier to change temps, but I think I'm being a little bit picky here. My personal favorite temp is 3.5 to 3.75 when I'm out and about, but I generally stick to 5 when I'm using the hopper at home with the glass. Now the lower temps are much more flavorful and smoother, whereas the higher temps will produce much more vapor. One of the ways you can help reduce temps is by turning off the vaporizer a few seconds before the end of your draw. Now another trick is to hold the tip of the vaporizer in your palm for a few seconds in between draws, and this will help dissipate the heat a little faster. The Grasshopper also has an auto shutoff timer which will turn the unit off after 18 seconds with no draws. Now if the timer shuts your unit off, you'll just have to double click the unit to turn it back on. Now I prefer to use a regular grind type with the Grasshopper. I get good results using my Santa Cruz shredder or my space case, and then you can still use grinders like the MFLB finishing grinder, but I found it to produce a bit more draw resistance and the finer material will clog up the screen faster. The Grasshopper uses a type of 3D printed metal called direct metal laser sintering. Now with this they are able to create a compact, high flow, adjustable wattage heating element. The heater can peak at 45 watts, so it can hit 410 degrees Fahrenheit in seconds. Now it's one of the only portable vaporizers that I can aggressively draw from and it won't lose heat. Most vaporizers lose 20 or more degrees with aggressive pulls due to weaker heaters, but the Grasshopper will continue to push out huge clouds. So to put it in perspective, the Mighty uses a 36 watt heater, and it's quite a bit bigger when compared to the Grasshopper. The Grasshopper chamber holds about 0.3 grams of herb when completely full. Now I don't usually put that much herb in the chamber, and I found that the looser packs work the best. So my preferred chamber amount would be closer to 0.15 grams, and I try to clear the chamber in one session. The hopper also works very well with tiny loads. It's not a problem to pack as little as 0.02 grams. Now with that said, the chamber is a bit cumbersome to load because it's longer than it is wide, so just keep this in mind when heading out for the day. It might be best to preload the chamber when possible to avoid spilling out on the go. Moving on to the batteries and charging system. Now the Grasshopper uses internal replaceable batteries that can be charged via USB while in the unit. Now I recommend that you pick up at least one extra battery because Hopper Labs is currently selling them at $7, which is a very reasonable price. I found that on average each fully charged battery gets me about 2 to 4 bowls, and it takes anywhere from 45 to 70 minutes to fully charge a Grasshopper battery. Now the battery isn't exceptional, but it honestly lasted about twice as long as I was expecting for its size and power. Now you can also swap it out on the fly very quickly and easily if you run low on power. I picked up quite a few extra batteries for longer adventures, and I've been using an external charger to keep them all charged up. I'll have a link in the About section to the external charger that I used. Charging options include your computer, external battery packs like these anchors, or even your cell phone charger. The Grasshopper also offers pass-through charging, so you can use the unit while it's charging. So basically you can charge the Grasshopper pretty much anywhere, plus the batteries are replaceable. Let's talk about the accessories, color options, and some extras that I recommend. Now first off, the Grasshopper comes in 3 different selections. You can choose the base stainless steel model for $150. They have the titanium model for $200, and they also have a colored titanium model for $200 that come in purple, blue, green, dark gray, and bronze. I'm currently using the blue titanium model for this review. The main differences between the stainless steel and the titanium models are the weight, the resistance to scratches, and the titanium model will stay slightly cooler. Now I found the titanium model to weigh about 10 grams lighter than the stainless steel model. You wouldn't think it makes that big of a difference, but it definitely does when you're trying to mimic an actual pen. I would also look into getting some glass for use while at home. You can go with these smaller Hydro tubes like this one from Pinnacle Pro. It works great with the DO20D and DO21 from Sunshine Store on DHgate, and it even milks the large Hydro tubes from VapeX Hale. So overall, the glass makes the home experience with the Grasshopper that much better, especially if you enjoy higher temps and larger clouds. The Grasshopper is very easy to clean and maintain. You pretty much just empty the chamber out after every use, and then after a couple dozen uses, you can clean the mouthpiece by dropping it in some ISO and letting it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. As long as you empty out the chamber after your sessions and try to keep the threading fairly clean, you basically never have to fully clean the Grasshopper. So now that we have some herb in the chamber, just double check to make sure that the threads are clear of any herbs and screw the top back on. Now I'll go ahead and start out at temp level 4 and work my way up from there. The lower temps like 3 to 3.5 are going to be the best tasting, but this being the demo and all, we will start a little higher. Now if you want to see the hopper tested much more extensively, you can check out my extended Grasshopper video below in the About section. The Grasshopper is very efficient and produces consistent results with varying load sizes. There's no learning techniques or proper draw techniques, just load the chamber, click the top, and you're ready to go in seconds. The full temp spectrum allows you to achieve precise effects with your herbs, and the consistency with varying chamber sizes lets you choose and maintain the dose you want. Personally, I like to use the mouthpiece guard mostly for when I'm using a bubbler at home or if I'm sessioning with multiple people, but when it's just me, the unit stays cool enough and I have no problems with the heat. You can clear an entire chamber in one draw when using glass, or you can load the tiniest of bowls for a 1 to 2 draw session and still get the same consistent results. Now the unit does get a little warm on the hands with prolonged use, but it's nothing unmanageable. The battery level is indicated by the LEDs during your draw, so a quick blinking blue LED while drawing means you're on your final third and close to running out of battery. A quick red blinking LED while drawing means the unit is going to shut off in a couple draws. So now that we finished up with the vape session, let's go ahead and jump into my pros and cons. So the first pro would have to be the heat up time. I was immediately blown away the first time I clicked it on and I was vaping in about 5 seconds. Now this is currently my favorite on-demand convection vaporizer on the market and it's in pen size. Now the next pro is that it's simple to use, even for first timers since there are no learning curves or drawing techniques. You just throw in some herb in the chamber and you're ready to go. Now next, the Grasshopper is probably the easiest portable vaporizer on the market to clean and maintain. I just clear out the chamber after my session, and I've only had to fully clean my Grasshopper 4 to 6 times in the 7 to 8 months that I've had it. Now the included mouthpiece guard makes it easy to pair with 14mm glass pieces, and the heater is powerful enough to keep up with aggressive draws. Now next, the Grasshopper is extremely portable, extremely stealthy, and can be easily pocketed for concealment. And last, but definitely not least, the Grasshopper comes with a lifetime warranty. Now let's move on to the cons. Now the first con would be loading the chamber can be a bit cumbersome because the chamber is longer than it is wide. Now I do tend to spill a bit when I'm loading, so I recommend pre-packing chambers before you head out for the day. Now next is the extremely short vapor path can cause vapor to be hotter or harsher than most portables on high temps. Now I personally do not mind the higher temps, but some people with sensitive throats will want to stay with the lower temps or use glass. Now because of the small size, the unit gets pretty hot on the mouthpiece with prolonged use. 2 to 3 people passing it around like a session vaporizer will cause it to get pretty hot. Now you won't burn yourself or anything, and you can still throw it back in your pocket right after the extended use, but it will get uncomfortable on your lips, so just remember to turn it off towards the end of each draw, and then grip the front of your unit with your hand for a couple seconds to dissipate the heat. Now the last con would be the current delays from the manufacturers while the company grows to catch demand. You can click the links below in the About section to get all the current updates on the Grasshopper. Now overall, the Grasshopper is a great addition to the portable vaporizer market, and is definitely a vaporizer that I think you should add to your collection. Now I've been using it pretty much daily since I got it back in April, and I can honestly say that this would be the only vaporizer that I would ever need. Now if you made me pick one vaporizer out of my entire portable collection to be my daily driver, I would pick the Grasshopper. I can use it as a desktop vaporizer at home and be completely stealthy with it out on the go. The elegance, the control, the portability, the Grasshopper is basically everything that you need in a portable vaporizer for a fraction of what the most popular vapes cost right now. So if you guys can't tell, I really like this vaporizer, even with all its current caveats. So I think that pretty much ends my Grasshopper vaporizer review. Let me know if you guys have any questions about the Grasshopper or any other vaporizer by leaving a comment below or contacting me on my website, VaporizerWizard.com. Take it easy, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and sub if you enjoy my videos.